This video is sponsored by Surfshark. Oh, you know, they need YouTubers like me, so they can get on their keyboards and make me the bad guy, Bussy Queen. Hi, Ugly. It's me, and welcome back to Hot or Rat. And today we'll be reviewing episode 8 of RuPaul's Drag Race UK Season 4. Our queens were challenged to act in an M-word mystery. Question mark? I mean, it was definitely the squirrel with the laser eyes in the makeup room, right? But jokes aside, it was a Big Brother meets Squid Game parody. But side note, Drag Race franchise, please, I am begging of you, please make a Big Brother spinoff and feature the cast members from seasons past. It would be so amazing. The drag, the drama, I'll host. And the runway category was Ruff Ready, a celebration of Ruffles. Whee! So we'll be breaking all of that down, and then at the end of today's video, going over some dragon drama. We've got Dakota Schiffer's thoughts on her exit, why she wore that jumper, and we'll be looking at the Drag Race UK franchise apology that was issued earlier this week on all their social media platforms after they mixed up 2 of their queens. But first, quick question. Are you using the internet without Surfshark? That's like going outside without your pants on. Everyone can see everything you've got going on, including your internet service provider. Fix that right now by clicking the link in the description of my video to download Surfshark, the sponsor of today's video and my personal favorite award-winning virtual private network. Surfshark is awesome because it can help block ads and trackers, protect your internet traffic from prying eyes, especially important during the holiday season when you're traveling around using random public Wi-Fi networks, and Surfshark can even unlock geo-restricted content and help bypass government censorship of the internet. That's right, with just one click, I can surf on over to a country like Argentina and unlock the entire RuPaul's Drag Race streaming library. And best of all, you can use Surfshark on all of your devices with unlimited device login. Plus, there's no risk in just trying it out because they offer a 30-day money-back guarantee. So what are you waiting for? Click the link in the description of my video to download Surfshark. And make sure to use code BUSSY to get Surfshark's extra special holidays deal of 85% off and 3 extra months for free. Thanks, Surfshark, for sponsoring today's video. Now, let's play red light, green light. First up, and in the order they appeared on the runway tonight, Danny Beard. And oh my god, did she look absolutely stunning on the runway. She's in this gorgeous satin silk ruffled garment that is kind of giving potted plants, almost like the fashion house version of her Piranha Plant Little Shop of Horrors look from a few weeks ago. And this look is gorgeous for many reasons. The beautiful color, the silhouette created by the stacks of ruffles on her waist and in her hat and around her neck, and the contrast of all these wavy ruffles with that harder, familiar Danny Beard silhouette with that bone corsetry going down the sides of it. It's a gorgeous gown, and when a queen is feeling her oats like this, it is even more gorgeous. This look is hot. And in the acting challenge, she's assigned the character Divina Dickall, a play on the British Big Brother host and presenter Davina McCall, who is described in this script as gossipy, glamorous, and gooped. Relatable. So I'll admit I'm not the most familiar with Big Brother, especially the British spin-off, but I did watch some clips to get a better understanding of Miss Davina and to kind of see the mannerisms that Danny was capturing, and I think she did a really great job, at least based on the limited knowledge I have of her, right? To me, it felt like what she did was done not only with respect, but with a great wink wink, nudge nudge, and she also added her own layers to this character. It wasn't just an impersonation. She was acting. Danny actually did super well in this challenge. I watched it and thought, wow, what a masterclass in acting, and I was kind of shocked she didn't ultimately get the win. This was hot. Next up, and looking bewitching, might I say tonight, it's Jonbers Blonde, or just Jay, if you're Rue. And this look from Jonbers tonight, oh my gay god, it is so delectably gorgeous. Head to toe, she is not only giving fashion, but this really interestingly unique perspective on a look like this. It feels a little French, a little royal, a little whimsical, like Peter Pan or something. It's just stunning. She's captured ruffles in the side bustle of the skirt train and in the shoulder piece. She said on Instagram this look was inspired by portraits of stately homes that she would visit when she was a kid. And Rue was right. This is one of the most beautiful looks I think I've ever seen walk down the RuPaul's Drag Race runway. I would say it's kind of more difficult to make a look that is piecey like this be so glamorous and gorgeous, but Jonbers has 100% not only accomplished that, but more. Paint me like one of your British gals. This look is hot. And in the challenge, it's a bird, it's a dog, it's a girl and a dog. Jonbers' character in this skit is sassy and Fugly the dog. Or is it Pugsley? The jury's still out on that, but you heard me right. She is playing 2 characters in one. It was a really, really strange decision, I think, on the part of the producers slash writers that put this sketched together. And this girl and dog combo could have, I suppose, been some reference that went over my head, but I just was really stuck in trying to figure out why the hell she was a girl and a dog at the same time. It was just too many layers in a Drag Race acting challenge, in my mediocre opinion. But as for how Jonbers actually did in the role, I think she did okay. Like, I don't think she did a bad job. It was just an unmemorable performance that left me scratching my head. And it wasn't the fleas. And no, it wasn't my lice. Oh. She had her moments, but ultimately, Jonbers failed to take this character beyond Fussy Queen. Send Pugsley Fugsly back to the pounds. This was a soft rat. Next up, grab a slice. It's Cheddar Gorgeous, who's finally, apparently, starting to feel competitive in the competition on episode 8 with her 4th win. Just goes to show, I suppose, how easily she is just brie like the cheese laugh, zing through the competition. And this week we got a little more personal with Cheddar and several of the other queens as they share stories about their dads. In fact, Cheddar, Danny, Jonbers, and Pixie all shared dad stories. Love dads. Too bad mine's dead. First, let's talk about her runway. She is giving an homage to the Pansy Project, and this was something that I learned of. We love learning. Thank you for teaching the children, Cheddar Gorgeous. From their website, thepansyproject.com/about, linked in the description of this video. Thank God. Their site reads, Paul Hartfleet plants pansies at the site of homophobic abuse. He finds the nearest source of soil to where the incident occurred and, generally, without civic permission, plants one unmarked pansy. The flower is then documented in its location. The image is entitled after the abuse. They then, as an example, list off slurs that homosexual people might be called in the streets, and elaborate that the pansies are a visual representation of these bad things happening. Bad things that often go unreported to police and authority figures. Things that, if you know, as part of the queer umbrella, just kind of happen day to day. And if you want to know more about the Pansy Project, I've linked them in the description of this video. It's a really beautiful project with a really beautiful message. But not only is Cheddar's look tonight a great homage to a wonderful social good, but also a beautiful piece of stunning alien deity fashion. She's taken the concept of ruffles and abstracted it to flower petals ruffling in the pattern of a pansy flower. I love how simple, dangerous, spooky, scary, but also fashionable and intriguing this look is. It makes you ask questions. That's good drag. And I also love this thing that she's done last runway and this one, where she has put an accessory in her mouth for symbolic reasons, but also fashion reasons that I think really add a lot to the look. It's not something I think we've seen on Drag Race really done or branded by any particular queen in the past. Cheddar has once again presented a look that balances high concept drag and important queer history teaching / acknowledgement, and this look is absolutely hot. And she in the acting challenge today is the character of Minxie, model, business mogul, influencer, a sort of Kardashian or Paris Hilton type, essentially. And Cheddar did get to choose roles this week, which made me at first think that her choice of this role was kind of simple, because a lot of this character's development is already done for the audience. We all understand and know the influencer type. You are here after all. But in that same ease of recognizability in a character like this, you also get cliche or run the risk of your performance being generic. And so I was sitting there a little nervous for Cheddar, thinking, this could be a trap. But the extra layers that she added to this performance allowed her to take what would have been an otherwise fairly basic role into something much more interesting. She had great wink wink nudge nudge acting, which I think was really important in a parody challenge like this. And I think her timing and delivery of lines was perfect. Cheddar was yet again this week in a league of her own. And I'm gonna give this performance a hot, melty pot of cheese. Next up, Rupaul's apparently been following her for years. Watch out, Pixie. Ooh. So, Pixie Polite's runway look tonight for the ruffle category, I would say, meets the brief. There are ruffles, but it does feel a little lackluster, I think, especially coming last in this runway segment. The first 4 were total knockout home run looks, and Pixie's left a little to be desired in my and the judges' opinion tonight. Focusing on the positives first, I mean, waist up, she looked absolutely gorgeous. Her hair, her makeup, stunning every single week. And I also think she had a really interesting approach to this runway concept of ruffles, going the Elizabethan route and tapping into some of that Tudor fashion. It's like all the pieces are there for this look, it's just the final effect was not as impactful as maybe she had hoped it would be. So this is like a waist up hot, waist down rot. A warming up, we'll say. In the Squirrel Games, she's playing the character of Kimmy Booburn, another character tonight intended to be a parody of a real-life person, Kim Woodburn. I think she's most famous from her series How Clean Is Your House, and also did do Big Brother. And the clips from that girl, they are wild. That is some reality TV drama.
Don't you ever touch me like that.
No.
Don't you mean me, fat slob?
Fat slob?
Don't you mean me because I was with a cleaner?
This lady is quotable house down boots. Which is to point out that Pixie had a lot of source material to work with here in this performance, and she did a great impersonation of this crazy character. But I wasn't finding myself laughing at Pixie in the same way that I would laugh at Cheddar or Danny when they were on the screen. It was almost like Pixie was doing a character study more than a parody. It felt so serious and stiff at times, even if she was doing a damn good job at acting the character. She showed us that she knew her way around a broom and mop, but not necessarily around the house of Big Mother. I would still give this a very safe hot though. And I do want to point out here, they did end up giving out this like one-note critique to several of the queens tonight, Pixie included, and they kept talking about looking for peaks and valleys. And I can't help but ask, did Michelle do the best job directing? Because during rehearsal, she seemed a little out of it, miffed, upset with the proceedings of what was going on, and I don't know if it was like played up for TV that there was lots of line missing and forgetting things, or if that was really happening and that's why she actually was mad. But usually I feel like we see Michelle step in a lot more and offer help when it's clearly needed. I'll talk a little bit more about the writing of this though at the end of the video. And finally, our season of the season, Black Peppa. And oh my god, she said it best. You know she gives it to us every time on the runway. Every single time she is slaying that runway. Her looks have a very clear point of view and consistent branding that I think is really necessary to stand out on Drag Race as above the rest of the pack. She's giving us a sequins do-rag face kini combo, contrasted with ruffled denim for this overall club kid meets clown meets visually interesting piece of art on the runway. This is so much fun. I also love that she made sure we could see her face was beat behind the face kini. The dynamic force of Black Peppa gave us whimsicality and severe fashion. This look is hot. And I'm not joking, bitch. But in the acting challenge, Peppa failed to find that whimsicality she so effortlessly brings to her runways. Her character was Bev Growls, the ultimate TV survivalist, who was yet another real-life person parody, I think supposed to be of Bear Grylls, who did the television series Man vs. Wild, which, you know, kind of makes sense with the costuming that Black Peppa was wearing as well. And honestly, looking at the lines that she delivered and how this character was written, I don't know what the hell she was supposed to do with this character. It was like scream and be a little bit goofy, but not too screamy or too goofy, just a little bit. But why just a little bit? And I feel like the more background characters like this that have less lines in Drag Race acting challenges traditionally have more of a sight gag type of thing going on. I'm thinking of like when they do the baby at the country food dinner table, or when they had just Vivacious's head under the dinner plate. And because I feel like there wasn't a lot there, Black Peppa's character didn't stand out, but I don't think it was for a lack of trying. It smells a little like sabotage to me. But yeah, the performance was rot. And my overall thoughts on this acting challenge specifically, well, I did think it was kind of lackluster. I reacted to it over on my Patreon at patreon.com/bussyqueen. That's my members only website where my Patreon family gets exclusive member benefits like early access to my YouTube videos, access to reaction videos, and access to the Bussy Queen Discord server, and you can join by clicking the link in the description of my video. See you there. And I think this acting challenge had good bones, but the writers didn't really progress the plot anywhere. It felt like just a bunch of random scenes cut together with no cohesive storyline. And sure, I do suppose that is kind of what watching Big Brother is like sometimes. You're waiting for drama to happen or a challenge to happen, what have you. But I just think there needed to be a little more glue between these disparate pieces and scenes to really give us murder mystery acting challenge like they apparently wanted to. And another thing I think that they tried to do maybe way too much of in this one was constantly make references and be referential even with the character names and how the queens were supposed to portray these characters. It just didn't leave a lot to the imagination, I think. And our top thespian tonight is Cheddar Gorgeous. Big surprise. But good God, 3 wins in a row, 4 total for this competition, by the way. And girl, no signs of slowing down. Remember, she said she's just now starting to feel competitive. I'm like, girl, the competition is yours if you want it at this point. It's her and Danny Beard at the top. Danny's got just 1 less win, and Black Peppa has 1 from episode 1. Pixie 1 for the girls group, and Jonbers none. We're kind of in an interesting situation where personality and talent-wise, I feel like this final 5 5 right now is really dynamic, interesting, and amazing. But competition-wise, it just clearly feels like Cheddar or Danny will get the crown in the end. Maybe a double win this season? We know the fans love that. And concerning our bottom 2, we do have a gaggy, shocking, unexpected double save tonight. The writing was on the wall. It was very expected, actually. The untucked parts of the episode were giving us storyline development for these two, Black Peppa and Jonbers Blonde, and both of them were wearing outfits immediately deemed by Rue as iconic pieces of Drag Race history. And I agree with that, but that is to say, they were not going anywhere. But aside from the writing on the wall that there would be a double save, I will say the actual lip sync performance was phenomenal. Jonbers and Peppa killed it, both of them, from beginning to end. That was electric. I don't think I had really been on the edge of my seat, that close to the edge, in a while watching a lip sync. Like, they both not just wanted to stay, but needed to stay. And I felt that. Did you just say wig? That's just for us. And now let's briefly cover the drama for the week before we jump into our hottest hots. First, we've got Dakota's tea time with Tia Coffee to go through. And to be clear, this is Dakota Schiffer and Tia Coffee in the video. Tea Time, a YouTube show produced by the producers of this show that I have linked in the description of this video, MLA format cited. Just a joke. And the title of this video I thought was really interesting. Dakota Schiffer, quote, didn't care Michelle Visage told her to sash away on Drag Race UK. Because you'll remember, she was eliminated on an episode without Rue, so she really didn't get to say goodbye to Rue, which is kind of an iconic thing to do on the show. It is, after all, when you find out if Rupaul really likes you. Dakota said, I don't need it. And more interestingly, we got to get a little deeper into the mind of Dakota, which I really enjoyed. She talked about her insecurities and how she was, quote, gaslighting herself into believing she was not doing as well as how the fans, us, are perceiving her or perceived her progress in the competition.
It's been so overwhelming and the response has been so lovely. And I think I felt so little while I was there, and I really beat myself up about where I was against the other queens in the competition. And I gaslit myself on set to thinking I was the worst one every week, but to actually feel like I did a good job in a lot of challenges.
Oh, and here's a little clip of her talking about the sweater that she wore when she was in the workroom for the last time.
The jumper was knitted by my twin. The reason why I was so upset leaving, I think, was because I didn't get to wear that piece. Every runway I was just hoping it was the runway theme that jumper was for. The first thing I did when I got into that workroom was I literally looked at the producer and I went, please let me wear this jumper, because otherwise you're gonna have to drag me out kicking and screaming.
Now onto the Drag Race UK apology that was issued earlier this week about a mix-up of Baby and Black Peppa in one of their promotional videos where Dakota Schiffer was talking about some queens that she was closest with. This text on the screen here is from Digital Spy by Harriet Mitchell, published November 8th, linked in the description of this video and engraved on my tombstone. It reads, Drag Race UK has apologized after Baby called out an embarrassing mistake that happened on a farewell video to Dakota Schiffer following her elimination. In the video, which has now been deleted, Dakota listed Starlet, Baby, and Danny Beard as members of the cast she had grown closest to during her time on the show. When Dakota listed Baby's name in the video, a picture of Black Peppa appeared with Baby written underneath, which was posted to the BBC 3's Drag Race UK official Twitter page. Screenshot of that now deleted video here. And that really is the drama of what happened. We'll get to the apology in a second. It's a really, really tough mistake for them to make, especially considering that in the past, Drag Race UK queens of color like Tia Coffee, Taste, Estina Mandela, and Vanity Milan have spoken out about how queens of color from the Drag Race UK franchise are being confused with each other by the fan base. And I think this issue is a serious one worth highlighting and talking about again and again. Why is it consistently that queens of color are being mixed up when white queens are not? And of course, I do want to acknowledge that me, myself, being in the video editing and publishing industry, mistakes do happen and things get overlooked. But when something this serious comes out of the actual franchise's social media accounts, it's like, whoa, y'all are not paying attention to what you're doing. But I'm not here to shame them, just ask questions and report the news. Their apology on Twitter read, we are so deeply sorry about an error that appeared on a BBC social video that was made to support RuPaul's Drag Race UK. We have sincerely apologized to both Baby and Black Peppa, and we also want to extend our heartfelt apologies to anyone else that this post offended. As soon as the mistake was spotted, the post in question was removed from all of our platforms. Once again, our sincerest apologies. And I genuinely hope for Baby and Black Peppa's sake that the franchise really did make it right to them on the back end. There was also some other interesting tea or input / opinions provided under this tweet from Miss Willam. She wrote, Pay them. Put your money where your mouth is. Words fall flat when you can say it with coins, considering the girls go into debt just to compete on your shows and you give them effing pins/badges. An account wrote underneath Willam's tweet, "It's about time they give money for the girls to buy their outfits so no one goes into debt, and a limit for how much you can spend so there's no more poor queen being out early because of their income and a rich queen being pushed." And Willam wrote to that, "They do, but it's not enough, like $2,500. And then a follow-up tweet Willam wrote, "They pay the girls €250 an episode for UK. In America, they're paid almost double that per episode, $500. 10 years ago when I filmed, I was paid $400 an episode. At World of Wonder makes millions per episode." And of course, if you have been a Bussy Queen subscriber for a while, you're aware of those euro and dollar sign numbers that the girls get paid per episode. I read through both participant agreements for US and UK a couple of years ago now, and provided the numbers that Willam is putting in here are current, it is again shocking to see that these girls are really getting paid dust to be on this show that can completely mentally, physically, and monetarily wreck them. So my final thoughts there, regardless of the issue that happened with the Drag Race UK socials, is that all the queens absolutely do need to be making way more money per episode. But I do question, would a huge budget for runways or putting some kind of cap or limit on them even really matter? Because as we have seen time and time again, runways are not 50% of the mark, they're not 40, not 30, not 20, not 10, they're like 0. It's all about the challenge. But let me know what y'all think about all of this in the comments down below. I also want to remind y'all, I turned on my channel memberships, which means you can click the join button next to subscribe to monetarily support this channel and get special membership perks. At the House of Transport tier, you'll get these cute flame icons next to your name, which serve as membership loyalty badges that change with time. And at the bus driver tier, you'll get your name in the description of my videos. Plus, new feature alert, all my channel members are going to be getting access to the bus stop, my brand new podcast I debuted on Patreon that talks about pop culture, includes guests, local drag queens from the Austin area, and more. Again, you can find the podcast by becoming a member of my channel or by joining my Patreon, where you will get even more additional bonus content like reactions. Wow. Now finally, for Hottest Haunts today, I hate that I have to pick a runway, because the first 4, Danny, Jonbers, Cheddar, and Black Peppa, each one of them different and unique and beautiful and stunning and memorable in their own ways. But I will give it to Jonbers. This was a phenomenal look. And in the challenge, I'm going to give it to Danny Beard. I also asked my patrons to vote on their Hottest Hots, and this week they voted for Jonbers Blonde on the runway and Cheddar Gorgeous in the challenge. And finally, I want to say thanks to you for watching today's video and give an extra special shout out to today's video sponsor, Surfshark, who you can check out using the link in the description of this video. Don't forget you'll get 85% off and 3 extra months for free when you use code BUSSY. And I want to give an extra special shout out to Aiden the Individual, Asa Pickle, Ashley Brungard, Cyrus Daniel Dickey, Felicia Frankie, Hector C. Moncas, Jeffrey Steenberg, Kyle Hermes, Laura Lissette, Louis Labrador, Luke Peterson, Mark James, Matthew Burns, Matto, Michelle, Your Bell, Panda Kitty, Sailor Steven, Topher Travis Lundy, Wheelie, and Will and Tanner, who are all supporting me at my Bussy Queen Collector tier at patreon.com. See you later, love ya, bye. Like Danny Beard and Cheddar Gorgeous.